Championship week presented by 7-Up. Welcomes you to the U.S. Cellular Arena here in Milwaukee. The finals of the Horizon League tournament. The number 1 seed, UW Milwaukee, taking on the number 3 seed from Detroit. UW Milwaukee with a big win over Loyola in the semis. Detroit took care of UW Green Bay. Hi, everybody. Dave Strader along with Steve Bardo. When you look at the Horizon League statistics, these are the top 2 field goal percentage defensive teams in the league. However, they get it done in very different ways.
They really do. UW Milwaukee wants to pressure you all over the floor, create turnovers into easy offense. Detroit wants to control tempo by slow half-court setting with their offense to keep the score low.
Well, Bruce Pearl, of course, in his 4th year here at UW Milwaukee, and this is the 3rd consecutive time that he has brought his team to the Horizon League final. They won it 2 years ago. They were disappointed in losing last year to UIC. And, of course, Perry Watson, very familiar name in the basketball world in the city of Detroit. For many years at Southwestern High School and in his 11th year at the University of Detroit. All right, thanks very much, and welcome here to the U.S. Cellular Arena in Milwaukee, the finals of the Horizon League Championship. The championship week presented by 7-Up rolls along the number 1 seed, UW Milwaukee Panthers, the number 3 seed, the University of Detroit Titans. And we are ready to go. This is the 3rd meeting between these two clubs. They split during the regular season, each winning on the other's floor. Steve, that's significant because UW Milwaukee lost only 1 game in this building, and that was to this Detroit team. Detroit came in here and shot the lights out January 5th, hitting 10 3-pointers and really controlled tempo in that ball game. Both teams will go deep into their bench. We'll show you the starting lineups in a moment, but don't think you're going to see the same combination of 5 guys on the court for very long for either one of these coaches. And Steve, a lot of that is because in the case of the Milwaukee team, the way they play was so much pressure, so much tempo throughout the game. Joe Tucker, nice look inside, and Tiger driving the baseline. Adrian Tiger, the junior out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, gets the first 2 of the ball game. Good job by Tucker. He's going to draw the majority of the defensive pressure, especially when he's inside in the paint like that. Tiger very smartly cut towards the basket, wide open. Ball goes down inside now to Baker. Baker double team, turns off the glass too strong. Detroit does a great job on the offensive glass, but it's knocked away out of bounds, and it will be the Panthers ball. Now let's take a look at the Staples lineup. Both of these teams go with a 3-guard, 2 front court player rotation. Copeland Baker in the front court for Detroit, Abdur Rahim, Cotton, and Thies in the backcourt. Tucker and Tiger up front for the Panthers, and you see the 3-guard rotation that they go with Mccann and Davis and Chris Hill, and a whistle before the basket. And we have our first foul of the ball game, and there is Bruce Pearl, the head coach here, his 4th year, and boy, what great success. Look at that winning percentage and 3rd consecutive Horizon League championship game. He's done a tremendous job of really creating a special situation here in the shadow of Marquette University. And Perry Watson in his 12th season, what a great job he's done at the University of Detroit. Of course, a legend in the Detroit public high school circles with the great teams that he had at Southwestern for many, many years. And his goal was to keep all those Detroit kids in the city going to UAD, and Stevie's done a great job doing that. Yes, he has, and even gotten a kid like Brandon Cotton. We see going baseline that time with the trunk to funk. Abdur Rahim. That is the brother of Sharif Abdur Rahim, of course, who plays for Portland in the NBA. Mohammed Abdur Rahim, part of the 3-guard rotation for the Detroit Titans. Long-range miss by Joe Tucker, and the Titans have it in a 2-2 ball game. Detroit, the only team to win on this floor during the regular season. And straight away, that is Tavares Baker for the Titans. Averages about 7 a game. Outside of Brandon Cotton, who averages just under 20, the transfer from Michigan State, you're not going to see a lot of guys with very impressive individual numbers. Yeah, Thies can get double-figure points every now and then, but you're looking at a very solid ball club, and they hang their hat on the defensive end. So they've got a lot of 6'4", 6'5" guys that go between the guard and the forward position, as you see Brandon Cotton right there. Offensive foul called away from the ball as you look at Brandon Cotton, the first McDonald's All-American to ever play in the Horizon League. Originally signed with Michigan State. Had a stress fracture when he first went there, Steve, and after he healed, he thought he was going to go right into the starting lineup. That didn't happen. He had some personal issues that kind of called him back to the city of Detroit, and UD did a good job of keeping track of Brandon's situation. So why don't you come here and play in your hometown?
They did a wonderful job, because to get a player of his caliber in this league like that, in addition to Theus that played at Syracuse his sophomore year, they've got some guys with some big-time experience, and it's transferring into this conference where the Horizon League is becoming one that the big boys don't want to play.
Here is Cotton on the wing. Now Baker pops out. Cotton drives against Davis. A little floater on the way is good. Brandon Cotton has a variety of ways that he will score.
And, you know, when you're a 6-foot guard, you can get points in the paint like that with the use of a runner. They have to respect your jumper. They have to respect your ball handling ability as well. Makes it a tough defend.
That was the third turnover for the Panthers, and the Titans come down and convert at the other end. There's Ryvon Koval able to get his first 2 points, and how about Detroit coming out with an 8-2 run here to open this ball game in a jam-packed U.S. Cellular Arena, the home court for the Panthers.
Now, if you had to ask for a better start, you couldn't have done it for Detroit as they forced yet another turnover.
Traveling is the call against Tucker.
As we were talking to Coach Pearl earlier today, he didn't want to start the game out pressuring, but you see now he's about to change that up.
And Detroit looks a little bit surprised, but they get it in the hands of Theus, very quick with the ball, and now he'll pull it back out.
Defensive pressure for Detroit. They've already got 7 field goal attempts, Dave, compared to Milwaukee's 2. So you see they're imposing their will early here in this championship game.
And that's exactly the phrase that Perry Watson used this morning after their shoot-around. He said whichever team can impose their will is going to have the advantage tonight, as Cotton had a pretty good look there with a floater. And now on the run out, here is Wright going up against Koval, who knocks it away. And Koval can't believe it, but he is going to be called for the foul. That is his second personal foul on Ryvon Koval, so I'm sure that is going to bring a substitution. We're early here in the first half. The Titans on the road. They lead the number 1 seed by 6.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of Championship Week is presented by 7-Up. If you want 100% natural lemon and lime flavors, the only way to go is up. And in part by your Lincoln Mercury dealer, who invites you to the Lincoln Mercury Roadshow sales event. And Staples. That was easy.
Well, Detroit has the early 8-2 lead, and very often you wonder what the keys to the game are. Well, what better source than the head coach for the Milwaukee Panthers, Bruce Pearl. Here's what he said before the game.
0-14. 0-14 when they get outshot, okay? Let's hold them down. Let's get good shots ourselves. And then the rebounding. That's the whole story. First game, -7. Second game, it was about even, okay? So let's do a good job on the board. That's what it's going to come down to right there, defense and rebounding.
Well, those are the team keys, and of course, as far as executing your game plan, you got to stop the opposing team stars. The newcomer of the Horizon League is Brandon Cotton. The player of the year is Ed Mccann.
Yeah, and Ed Mccann hasn't gotten an attempt off, and Cotton been very aggressive with 3 attempts himself. And, you know, Detroit just has come out with a lot of energy, Dave, and they knew that they had to get a lead to make Milwaukee play to their tempo.
Well, when you listen to those keys that Bruce Pearl talked about, he said when they get outshot, meaning Detroit, they don't fare very well. They have hit 4 out of 8. Wisconsin, Milwaukee's only taken 2 shots. They've hit 1 out of 2, and on the boards, it's a 4-1 advantage early for Detroit. So they are doing the things that Bruce Pearl feels that they have to take away from Detroit.
That's right, and right there you see a defensive rebound that you typically don't see Detroit give up. And there's another one.
After the free throw misses and the attempt by Tucker was no good, the Panthers get a fresh shot clock and go to work at the offensive end.
You see right now, Milwaukee's in a flex offense where they'll bring the weak side guy on the baseline through a pick and try to find him open underneath the basket.
Now Boo Davis rises up for the shot that is strong, and there is Shaw, who just checked into the ball game. Ethan Shaw, Jr. from Detroit, replaced Ryvon Koval in the lineup after Koval picked up his second personal foul. And now Theus, Syracuse transfer. He was a starter on the Syracuse team back in 02 that went to the NIT. And now Milwaukee forces a turnover with their defense, and Davis will electrify the crowd with the throwdown. Boo Davis, a junior from Chicago.
That was a great steal by Davis, but Brandon Cotton stood flat-footed when he saw the ball stolen. He had an opportunity to get back defensively. They can't have those defensive lapses against this quick Milwaukee ball club.
Now Cotton on the baseline. Double team, pulls it back out. These teams split in the regular season, each winning on the other's floor. And ironically, it was a high-scoring game here that Detroit won as they hit on 10 out of 19 three-point attempts. Here was Tucker underneath, got too far underneath, and hit the rim. Now Cotton in the open court. Boy, can he ever get from one end to the other, and a lot of contact as he was knocked to the floor right in front of the student section, and Cotton looked over at one of the officials, but play continues.
And Dave, if you're a player, you like this style of play. The officials are going to let the players decide it on the floor. It's going to be a physical ball game. The players have to adjust.
Boo Davis unable to knock down the three, and there is Ethan Shaw coming off the bench and making his presence felt with a couple of rebounds. Mike Sanzier, Tom Clark, Lamar Simpson are the officials. As you take a look at the early problems for the Panthers, just 2 of 7 from the floor, negative in the rebounding category, and they've turned it over 4 times. Diaz from the corner, no good. It's tipped by Shaw, and a foul on the play. And it's going to go against the Titans.
Let's take a look at that steal and dunk by Boo Davis. Right there, you've got to grab the ball around Milwaukee. It can't be the lackadaisical Dave. They come through on the backside with quick hands. Davis gets his hand in, and the rest is history.
Steve, you were a point guard when you played at Illinois, and one of the responsibilities very often for a point guard is to make sure that somebody can't leak out like that. And we don't think about that for a point guard very often, but that was a great example of Brandon Cotton not paying attention.
Yes, it was. Brandon Cotton and Theus have to be cognizant of that. They have to rotate almost on a string to figure out who's going to get back each and every time.
There was Chris Hill, the junior out of Chicago, out of Whitney Young High School. He is able to knock down the three-pointer, and it's a one-point game, and with a made field goal, here comes the pressure and a steal. Mccann off the glass, no good. He rushed it a bit, and a foul going against UW-Milwaukee, I believe.
And here's the pressure that we were talking about in the open, Dave. You see here, they force you to the corner, and then you're in no man's land when you throw the ball back across the defense. So Detroit has got to do a better job of receiving the pass in areas other than the corners.
Mark Pancratz, number 4, who checked in for Bruce Pearl, picked up the personal foul. And a creative bounce pass by Cotton to get it to Good, who just checked in, number 25. John Good is called for the offensive foul. Championship Week presented by 7-Up continues tomorrow on ESPN with 3 games from the Big East Championship. At 2 o'clock, Providence takes on West Virginia. At 7 o'clock, we'll have Seton Hall taking on Georgetown. Then at 9, we'll wrap it up with Rutgers against Notre Dame. Remember, BC, UConn, Syracuse, Villanova, Pittsburgh, all getting a bye in the first round of that tournament. I know that, Steve, you like Villanova and Pittsburgh, regardless of what happens in the Big East tournament, to maybe make some noise in the big dance.
Oh, I definitely think so. They've got a combination of great guard play and physical presence inside that will allow them to match up with anyone in the country.
DeRozan Baker looked like he was protecting the ball, but he brought it down and was knocked away. And both of these teams will make you pay for not being careful with the basketball. And this is going to go against University of Detroit, as Chuck Bailey, who's checked into the lineup, will pick up the personal foul.
You see Coach Watson right there. He and Bruce Pearl got their starts in the Big Ten as assistants. Watson was at Michigan, Pearl was at Iowa. I'm not trying to date myself, Dave, but I played against both of them.
And a foul here against Shaw, as they did a nice job getting it inside. to Derek Ford. And we mentioned Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and keep in mind they've got an impressive resume with a 23-5 record, and at home they lost only one. In fact, just one loss in their last 27 games, but that only loss against Detroit. But look at that total for Detroit, 76 points. So keep in mind this is a team, Detroit, that averages just over 61 a game.
So they were really stroking the three that night, hit 10 of them, and forced Milwaukee into turnovers. That's one thing that we didn't talk about early. You can force this Panther ball club into turnovers. They like to play fast. If you can get that defensive pressure on them early like Detroit has, establish that rhythm on the defensive end, could bode well for the Titans.
And how about UW-Milwaukee? They are 0 for 4 from the foul line here in the early going. Cotton being bodied up there by Mccann. Our two Star Watch players going head-to-head. Now Cotton right down the lane. They kick it back out to Good. He finds Baker at the elbow, and Baker couldn't knock that one down, and Shaw tips it out of bounds.
You see right there, when you have Good playing the guard, you know, he's going fast against this pressure.
Now please welcome Detroit Titans cheerleading squad and command.
On right there.
Reese Davis with you in the studio. If you missed the end of the Mid-Continent Championship game, Oakland and Oral Roberts, Pierre Dukes, the pride of Grand Blanc, Michigan, knocking it down for Oakland, and they are going to the tournament for the first time ever, 61-60. And since the field expanded to 64, only 3 teams have had a worse record than that 12-18 mark.
All right, welcome back here to Milwaukee. Dave Strader along with Steve Bardo, and Detroit trying to get in. And if they do win this game, they will be just a 500 team at 15-15. But here's a look at the teams that have gotten in so far. Penn out of the Ivy League, Winthrop out of the Big South, Central Florida, the Atlantic Sun, Eastern Kentucky, Chattanooga, Old Dominion, Niagara, first time in 35 years since the days of Calvin Murphy, Creighton, Gonzaga, and of course you just saw Oakland out of the Mid-Continent.
Congratulations to all those schools. You see Creighton on there from the Missouri Valley Conference. The SIU Salukis will get in there as well. They'll get 2 in from the Missouri Valley Conference this year.
Low-scoring game, which, at least in terms of pace, favors Detroit.
Nice defensive adjustment right now by Detroit, going to a 2-3 zone, something you don't see with Detroit typically.
There was Mccann trying to go up for the shot, and the very quick hands of Cotton got a piece of that. 5th turnover already here in the early going. And it's usually the pressure of Milwaukee, plus they've got the home court advantage, that you'd be looking for Detroit having problems with the ball. Ben Green, number 24, the cousin of former Titan great Willie Green, is in the ball game now. Cotton gets it to the lane, puts up the floater, and hits. And that's what Bruce Pearl was concerned about, how well Brandon Cotton, Steve, can get inside the defense and score in the paint.
Yeah, Detroit relies on Cotton for so much of their offense, and he's done a really good job this season of watching where the openings are. When a big man leaves the space in the paint, Cotton usually puts it on the floor and gets to the hole.
Now, Brandon Cotton, to finish out his transfer requirements, had to sit out the first 8 games, and you see the field goal percentage before Cotton was in there. It went up about 3%, and you look at what 7-point improvement, say what's the big deal, but when you're only scoring 56 a game, I mean, 7 points is about a 12-13% improvement, so that's a lot in the Detroit scheme of things.
That is a lot, because with Detroit, you have a limited amount of offensive opportunities when you play this ball club. So if they've got a guy that comes in and get an infusion like a Brandon Cotton, it can mean a world of difference, which we saw was reflected in the difference in their record.
Ben Green picked up the foul, his first. Already 7 fouls against Detroit, but UW-Milwaukee is now 0 of 5 from the free throw line.
See, a lot of our viewers, Dave, would think that Detroit has all the pressure coming in playing on the home court of Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's supposed to win the game at home, and so Detroit has come in playing with reckless abandon and taking it right to the Panthers.
Cotton had it slapped away by Mccann, but Mccann is going to be called for the reach-in foul. Cotton is saying he was in the act of shooting, and I believe the officials are going to say he was not in the active shooting. It was on the spin move. We'll take a look at it here.
Substitution for Milwaukee, James White.
Watch Cotton. He feels the defensive pressure on the left side. Comes back to a strong hand.
Boy, that looked like he was on his way up. I mean, that's a tough call. He had left his feet. I thought maybe he was fouled as he was spinning, but he looked like he was already committed to try to put the ball toward the basket. And now, you know what? They've changed their mind. Well, the officials talked it over, and I think this is the right call from what we saw in the replay.
I love when the officials come together in a conference situation, and despite making a call that might have not been right the first time, get it right. That's really what matters. I love to see them when they do that.
Cotton, about a 70% free throw shooter. Horizon Newcomer of the Year, a member of the second team All-Conference.
What a find for Detroit. This young man can get it many different ways, Dave, in terms of getting in the paint. We've seen him penetrate. He's got the body strength to take the licks that you're going to get from this Panther interior defense. And just a tough defend. Don't be surprised if Pearl has his players start double teaming Cotton once he gets the ball.
Nice look inside of Joe Tucker, and Tucker able to knock it down. Well, as much as McCann's is the player of the year, Tucker has been a big factor in the outcome of both of the regular season meetings between these teams. We'll talk about that in just a moment. As Theus now going to settle things down for the Titans.
James Theus did a great job of handling that pressure on that double team. A lot of inexperienced players would have caught the rock up that time, but Theus took his time and found an open teammate.
Nice kick out by Baker for the three that is off the front iron. And on the run out, ill-advised pass as Theus was back there. Boy, you can tell this Titan team is aware, except for the one case on the run out when Cotton got caught, that they're aware that they've got to be back there.
And because Milwaukee likes to leak one or two players out, every now and then you'll see Tucker leak out and cherry pick a little bit. And so Detroit's going to pound the offensive glass.
Boy, look at Brandon Cotton taking the challenge against McCann, who's a bigger player. 7 points for Cotton. And Bruce Pearl told us he would probably use size against Cotton because he said, I think we can bother him more with a bigger player. But so far, Brandon Cotton isn't bothered by too much. Here's McCann with a catch and shoot that rattles out. Battle for the ball, and it's going to be a held ball situation. We are at the U.S. Cellular Arena here in downtown Milwaukee, the Horizon League Championship, all part of Championship Week presented by 7-Up. Dave Strader along with Stephen Bardo, and we've got the #1 seed, the UW-Milwaukee Panthers. They're in their home white jerseys. The #3 seed, Detroit Titans, in the red. And just about a full house. They had less than 900 tickets available as of mid-afternoon. And just to remind you of how these teams got here, as the #1 and #2 seeds, UW-Milwaukee and UW-Green Bay got a bye all the way to the semis. Detroit had a win over Wright State before taking on Green Bay, defeated them, and Milwaukee, in their first game of the tournament, scored 94, led by Tucker's career-high 31 to beat Loyola. Boy, they did not see Ryvon Corbel that was open all the way down the court. And Detroit ends up turning the ball over. Their 6th turnover.
This style of play by UW-Milwaukee really dates back to Dr. Tom Davis when Pearl was an assistant in Iowa. I played against this style, Dave. You do good for 30 minutes, but that last 10, that monkey jumps on your back. I'm telling you.
Starts to feel it in your legs.
Yeah. You feel like you've been playing 2 games instead of 1.
McCann continues to struggle. McCann is a guy that had 38 in the first meeting between these two clubs on this court, the game that Detroit won. But right now, Ed McCann's 0 for 3 and a traveling violation against Cotton, who is saying that he was hit. And the official, Mike Sanzier, takes a look at him and going to listen to him a little bit. But right now, Detroit on the road with a 4-point lead.
Can you get field goals for both teams?
ESPN2's coverage of college basketball's championship week presented by 7-Up continues tomorrow with 2 games from the first round of the Kelly Tires Conference USA Tournament. First at 1 Eastern, the Marquette Golden Eagles will take on the TCU Horned Frogs. And then at 3 Eastern, the Tulane Green Wave face the DePaul Blue Demons. Championship week presented by 7-Up on ESPN2 tomorrow at 1 and 3 Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Here in Milwaukee, the finals of the Horizon League tournament. And the Detroit Titans, number 3 seed with a 4-point lead over the number 1 seed UW Milwaukee Panthers. Dave Strader, Stephen Bartle with you. And we've got a full house here at the U.S. Cellular Arena. Bruce Pearl's club already has been to the free throw line 5 times. They are 0 for 5. As you see that in the bottom right there, and they have struggled from the floor as well. But it has been a grinded out, tough to get anything type of game, which we fully expected. Boo Davis from the wing. That's the way to spread out the defense. And it also leads to the opportunity to put on this full court pressure. Kelly did a nice job splitting the first double team, and then he is fouled by Tucker.
Dave, you know, when we watch this Panther ball club, UW Milwaukee, they're only 2 of 8 from 3. A lot of teams would shy away from continuing to stroke the 3, but not this club. They're going to continue to pound away at the 3-point line, and they have the confidence that at some point in the game, they're going to catch fire.
Jonathan Kelly, number 12 in the ball game for the Titans. Well, that was Chuck Bailey who got the pass and was able to finish. The transfer from the University of Michigan, Chuck Bailey, another Detroit area kid. As again, Perry Watson has done such a great job of keeping the Detroit area kids coming to the University of Detroit. Out of the 14 players on the roster, 13 from the state of Michigan, most of them from the Detroit area.
And the guys that we've seen, one of them right there, Theus with the steal.
And Theus with a steal and the finish.
See, when you've got guys that are like Theus, Cotton, Bailey, these guys have been to another level. Syracuse, Michigan, and Michigan State. They come to this conference, they have a lot of confidence, Dave, and in a situation like this, they're not going to be spooked. They're going to come out and ball.
Detroit now, Steve, with 12 points off of turnovers. And here they come on a long rebound run out. They got numbers as Kelly all the way with the left hand lays it in. Jonathan Kelly, who plays in most of the ball game, but only plays about 12 minutes a game, but that's typical of this Perry Watson team. Brandon Cotton will play 30 minutes, and then he's got a bunch of guys that'll play between 12 and 25 minutes. And he'll just keep rotating fresh bodies in there.
Because he wants them to play so hard on the defensive end, which we're seeing right now, is that he wants guys that are always fresh to apply that pressure. And boy, they are really doing a fine job here in the first half.
7 different players have scored for the Titans already here in this first half, and they only have 19 points. You talk about sharing it.
Good job by Detroit coming in and getting other guys involved early. But you see Cotton coming back in the game.
6 on the shot clock, and well, they were trying to milk the shot clock there, and they weren't even able to get a shot away. And here's Theus now with the quick hands and the run out.
And so you see right here, Theus does a great job of playing the passing lanes. Kind of baited him a little bit, similar to a defensive back in football. Then once the pass is released, he breaks on it, came up with a terrific defensive stop. You see Brandon Cotton kind of smiling at Mccann right now. I know what's going on. Cotton's telling him, player of the year, you know what? I got something to prove.
Jason Mccoy, the Rutgers transfer, a junior out of Houston, in the ball game and able to bank one in. And here comes the run out by Shaw ahead of Mccann. And he is fouled as he went for the dunk. Well, this is about the only thing that Detroit really worked on in the shoot-around today, Stephen. We were talking about, how they went up and down and gained speed, working against the full court pressure. And the coaching staff kept saying, run it out, get dunks, get layups, and that's the way we can stop the press.
Right, and what you'll find, Milwaukee, a lot of times when they're pressing, Dave, they get all 5 guys on the defensive end of the floor, so all 5 of them across the half-court line. if Detroit can break a guy like Shaw like they just did, they'll have layups all night.
Shaw able to knock down the free throw. Detroit has hit 2 out of 3. Ethan Shaw, a junior college transfer, played at Iowa Western before coming here to the University of Detroit. Again, a kid that played his high school ball at Cooley High School, one of the familiar high school names out of the great Detroit public high school system. Biggest lead of the ball game, 7 points for the Titans on the 2 free throws by Shaw.
Ethan Shaw is one of those players, Dave, that coaches love. He's a glue guy. Not going to score a lot of points, but great defensive player, gets on the boards, and can score when he has the opportunity. Good body as well.
4.5 remaining here in the first half. Hill calling out a play under 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hill being hounded by Theus. That wasn't a good pass. I don't know if they're going to get a shot off. They do, and it does catch the rim. So that ball is alive, and the Panthers get it, and it's laid up and in. I believe that was Mccann that got to the offensive glass and put it in.
Now that's a senior right there, realizing that his jumper is struggling. He's going to manufacture points a number of different ways, gets to the offensive glass, and makes a play for his team.
Nice job again by the Titans to break the press. Take a look at the leaders so far for Detroit. Cotton with the 7-point, Shaw with the 3 rebounds, and Cotton with the assist as well. As Ethan Shaw is showing a little creativity offensively. He's got 4 points.
Like we said, Ethan Shaw is an efficient offensive player when given the opportunity.
Joe Tucker able to stroke it from deep. Only about a 20% three-point shooter, but he's got excellent form and no fear from letting it go.
Well, Joe Tucker is going to get his points, unlike that first game here, January 5th, when Detroit blitzed him. He's going to score because he can shoot from outside. He loves to bang inside, so he's going to get his.
Cotton, quick move to the basket. Took the contact. There was no foul called. But off the glass and in, as you see Davis leading UW Milwaukee with the 5 points.
Brandon Cotton saying, make my funk the P-funk along the baseline.
Here is Mccoy straight away off the back iron. And I believe it was number 55, Tavoris Baker, going over the back. That is the 8th team foul. So it will be 1-1 when we come back. But Detroit, known for their defense, efficient at the defensive end, but when they need somebody to make a play offensively, it is Brandon Cotton.
Reese Davis and Digger Phelps coming up on the 7-Up halftime report. You know, sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty and you don't have to be great in the regular season. Just get in. Digger's also going to take a peek ahead, look at some dangerous second-round games. Been a little sloppy in our game so far.
Yeah, Wisconsin, Milwaukee's got to do a better job taking care of the points. Detroit got 12 points off turnovers with 6 left in that half. You can't do that. And Mccann has got to get more involved with the offense for Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
All right, as soon as they finish up the first half out there, we'll see you back here for the 7-Up halftime.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Welcome back here to Milwaukee. Detroit with the 6-point lead on the road. And let's update our Star Watch players. And certainly Brandon Cotton is getting it done offensively while McCann's struggling.
Cotton has taken on the challenge of going heads up against the Player of the Year in Horizon League and has really gotten upper hand, as you can see.
And finally, a made free throw for the Panthers as they had missed their first 5. Chris Hill, who shoots just under 75%. You heard Digger mention the fact that UW-Milwaukee's got to do a better job taking care of the basketball, and that is something that Chris Hill has done most of the year. He's in the top 10 in assist to turnover. He normally does a good job of taking care of the ball. The made free throws leads to this pressure, and they have to call the timeout. Did they get it? Yes, they did.
30-second timeout, Detroit.
And here's what Digger was talking about in terms of UW-Milwaukee not taking care of the basketball.
You see here, there'll be one player that you see throughout this piece here with the quick hands right there. Theus as just being active There's that defensive back ability right there, playing the pass. And then the help side defense then right there playing the passing lanes and then converting the steal. Theus is #1 in the Horizon League in total steals, so used to seeing him on the receiving end of some thefts.
There you see the points off turnovers. Bruce Pearl's club usually enjoys that big advantage over most teams, and you're right. James Theus leading the Horizon League with 55 steals. You know, when he was at Syracuse, he set a school record with 101 steals in a season. So this kid's done it in the Big East. He comes here to the Horizon League. He continues to be a big factor.
And he's definitely a big factor, Dave, because you look at a Detroit team that's under 500, but finds themselves in the championship game of this conference. He's got that steady leadership, a dynamic scorer in Cotton, kind of playing the 2 guard, and then Theus with the stable veteran from the Big East running the point.
4-point advantage for the Titans. They were up by as many as 7.
Now you see UW Milwaukee going to a 2-3 zone with McCoy on the top. Jason McCoy at 6'9", serious deterrent at the top of the press.
Inside to Bailey, he got a good look, couldn't finish. Shaw battles, had it blocked.
He slid down the lane there and made a nice defensive play. So Bruce Pearl has a number of players like this that come off the bench that give him a lot of versatility in what they're trying to do.
Well, the Titans shoot the 3 at just over 30%. They are dead last in the Horizon League, so not surprised to see some zone, although that's not characteristic of what Bruce Pearl teams like to do. Here was Cotton, difficult fadeaway, and that was off the front iron. And it will be UW Milwaukee basketball. Championship week presented by 7-Up continues tomorrow. ESPN, 3 games from the Big East Championship. First at 2 o'clock, we'll have Providence taking on West Virginia, followed by Seton Hall and Georgetown at 7. Then Rutgers takes on Notre Dame. The Big East Championship presented by Aeropostale tomorrow on ESPN at 2, 7, and 9 Eastern. Inside, that slipped out of the hands of Mccann. One of the Titans may have gotten a hand on it. Here is Cotton strong to the basket, no good, and tipped out of bounds by Bailey.
Cotton looks a little upset, wanted to call going to the basket. That's 3 layup attempts he's had in the first half that he hasn't been able to convert. You see him going here. He's going for keeps, Dave. Didn't look like too much contact to me. We'll look at another angle. He's definitely going strong to the hole. No contact up top. Just got to finish.
9 times he's gone for better than 20 points. And here's Mccann's wide open. Great rotation on that one. And Mccann's knocks it down. He is 10th in the nation in 3-point field goals made per game. He makes over 3 a game. Difficult inbound pass. It'll be chased down by Hill. Detroit had a man open in center court, but they couldn't see him. The last time UW Milwaukee had the lead, it was at 2-0. They could regain it here. No good by Mccann. Now Theus had it knocked away by Wright. And one of the things that the coaching staff for Detroit talked about when working on the press, Bakari Alexander in particular, Stephen, was he said, don't underestimate UW Milwaukee's speed coming from behind you. After you think you've beaten the press, they're still chasing you.
The backflow from the Panthers is constant. And Detroit wants to relax once they get across half court. They don't want an up and down game. So that if they don't have an instant layup, they'll pull it out. But as you said, they've got to be cognizant and talk to one another to keep from those backflow steals that Milwaukee gets so much.
Down to 15 on the shot clock. 35 now remaining in the half. In the corner, Theus, difficult shot, knocks it down. James Theus with a 3 late in the shot clock. Mccann's now, he launches a quick one. I'm not sure that's what UW Milwaukee wanted to do, because now they give Detroit 2 possessions at the end of the half when they should have only had 1.
Yeah, Mccann's trying to get a hot hand and trying to pull his team within 1 of the first half. Watch him. Oh, nice job by Hill denying Cotton the ball.
Cotton gets it now. A couple of seconds remaining. The floater off the glass and in. How about Brandon Cotton? 9 points on 4 of 10 shooting, and they've all been of the difficult variety.
Take a look at this last shot. 3 seconds left. Hill all in his jersey, and it's all Cotton off the glass. Brandon Cotton. Drop it like it's hot. Off the glass.
So that quick shot by McCann's ill-advised, and Cotton comes down and takes advantage. It's a 6-point lead for the Titans. Now it's time for the 7-Up halftime report. Let's go to Reese and Digger, guys.
All right, Dave, as it turns out, I'm not sure that it's such a great night to be a 1 seed already. One seed has fallen. This one in trouble in the Horizon League as well. We will continue on the 7-Up halftime report. A team, one of the most unexpected in recent memory perhaps, found a way to get in. They're rejoicing not far north of the 8 Mile. The Mid-Continent Championship will tell you about it.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of Championship Week is brought to you by Budweiser Select, a new kind of beer, brewed for a crisp taste and no aftertaste. And Reebok's new S. Carter basketball shoe. The game will never be the same. Welcome to the 7-Up Halftime Report.
Halftime in the Horizon, the top seed, UW Milwaukee. They've got the home crowd behind them. Hasn't helped them stop Brandon Cotton, 30-24. The Titans of Detroit have the edge at halftime. Glad to have you along the 7-Up Halftime Report. Reese and Digger here. 3 bids being handed out on the night, including one in the Sun Belt. Denver hasn't been to a postseason tournament since the 1959 NIT. Of course, they spent a lot of time in the NAIA, just going back to NCAA Division I, the late 90s, taking on Louisiana Lafayette for the Sun Belt Championship. David Coomer knocks down the jumper. It's 21-15. Denver, 26-23 lead with about 5 minutes to go. Tyrus Wade tying it at 26. This game's been nip and tuck, back and forth. Andrew Carpenter scoring underneath, and he gets fouled. Denver there in the white uniforms. 32-32, locked up at the half. We've had plenty of drama in some of these one-bid leagues so far, Digger, and this game's been tight.
You got it. It doesn't matter if you're 1 seed or not. There's certain conferences only going to get the winner in. They're not getting that largest.
Certainly the Sun Belt is one of those conferences. Likewise, for the Mid-Continent, Oral Roberts, Scott Sutton trying to get his team in. It would be the first time a father and son had coached in the same NCAA tournament. Luke Spencer Gardner hits one, and Oral Roberts takes the lead on Oakland, but DeMarcus Ismail ties it up. Tied at 54 when Brandon Casasi drains the 3. Oakland on top by 3. But here comes Spencer Gardner triple. Tied at 57. Now 60-58. Closing seconds. Oral Roberts has the lead. Pierre Dukes. It was the Dukes. It was the Dukes. And Oral Roberts, Ken Tutt cannot get it to go. And how about this? Greg Campy, 21 years there at Oakland. He's going to the NCAA tournament.
And you can credit it the fact that he played the tough non-conference schedule, going 0-7 against Xavier, Illinois, Marquette, Texas A&M, Missouri, Kansas State, St. Louis, and that's why they're there. Unbelievable. The story, as a season ends with a losing record, they still get a chance to go to the dance.
But as a result, Digger, since the field expanded to 64, only 3 teams have had worse records. And if you go back even before that, George Washington got in as a 9-16 team. But you're right, it certainly toughened them up to play that tough schedule.
Do you think they go to Dayton Tuesday night?
I would say that there is an excellent opportunity that they'll be able to make that drive from just north of the 8 Mile down to Dayton for the opening round game in the field of 65. We'll see once all of that comes out on Selection Sunday. And speaking of Selection Sunday, Digger, I think one of the more interesting aspects is going to be to look at the 8-9 games and see who the 1 seeds might get in the second round. It might not be somebody that you want to see.
No, this is one year when you're a 1 seed, you know you got to play to 16. Then all of a sudden you look and you see who's in the 8-9 matchups. Well, we got some surprises for you this year, because if it was tonight, these would be your 4 number 1 seeds. But look at Maryland. John Kilchrist and company, they won the ACC conference tournaments last year, and he was the MVP of that tournament. John Kilchrist can play, so he's the guy to get Maryland going. Texas, we've seen what Dan Gibson's done as a freshman point guard, but at the same time, Brad Buckman just had that big double-double beating on Oklahoma State the other night. And UCLA, they made 14 threes against UCLA against Notre Dame on the road. But when you look at Jordan Farmer's a point guard, really solid performer, and Dejon Thompson up front, But that's not the end of it. Georgia Tech, yeah, they didn't have B.J. Elder for 9 games. And guess what? This is the same Georgia Tech team that got to the Final Four last year. And we know what B.J. Elder to go because he's a leader of the pack to go with Jared Jack. Luke Shenshire in the paint, big double-double guy. Islam Muhammad can slam dunk. Will Bynum, a point guard, can play. You don't want to see this team end up in your bracket when you're looking at 8-9 matchups. But I just think when you look at 4 teams that could possibly end up as that bracket is headed, when you look at the 8-9 seeds, Georgia Tech, obviously, when you look at how it went with B.J. Elder being out when those games, well, they didn't just get it done, but since he's been back, they're a better basketball team. They missed him for 9, and this is one team you don't want to play. So it's going to be fascinating on Sunday when we see the matchups of the 8-9 teams that have to play in that second round, and you can see a 1 seed getting knocked out because these teams are that good.
You know, those teams fit the profile of what's happened in that 8-9 game over the last few years. You have teams from power conferences who perhaps had stretches of their season in which they struggled. They put it together close to the end, but the resume is not quite good enough to get them a high seed.
No.
Stanford found out last year they had to deal with Alabama in the second round and got bounced in the second round. We'll see if the 1 seeds are able to survive. More compellingly, who they'll be matched up against. That's a ways off. Still got much more in championship week to go. Detroit trying to get into the NCAA tournament. Brandon Cotton certainly helping them along the way.
This halftime report is brought to you by 7-Up. If you want 100% natural lemon and lime flavors, the only way to go is up. This is the 7-Up halftime report.
Big East tournament gets started tomorrow. Games on the family of networks. West Virginia, Providence, Notre Dame, Rutgers, Georgetown, Seton Hall get it started. UConn does not play until Thursday, and when they do, Andy Katz reporting that Rashad Anderson has been cleared to play. He's been recovering from surgery following staph infection prior to his illness, which was very serious. He was UConn's leading scorer, although his minutes will be limited, Digger.
Limited, but he's got one job. Just shoot the three, shoot the three, shoot the threes. Everything's in place. We'll find you, but just be ready to shoot the threes.
As if the Huskies need help in Madison Square Garden. They've been in the final 6 of the last 7 years, won it 4 times. The UConn women haven't won the Big East tournament the last 2 years, despite winning the national championship in those years. Trying to win it all against Rutgers. Barbara Turner going inside. UConn jumped out to an early lead. They were up 23-5, and Ann Strother made it worse. 26-5. These two teams split in the regular season, and this game held form. Home team runs out to a big lead. They hold off a rally. Strother knocks down another one. Oriema wins at 67-51. You see an odd exchange there between Tappy Pondexter and Gino.
I was impressed last night when UConn got 27 points against the Lady Irish on offensive rebound points. That fascinated me how they just beat them up in the paint.
A couple of other bids handed out for the women's championship. Oral Roberts couldn't get it done on the men's side in the Mid-Con. They are going in the ladies' side. And Middle Tennessee, which won a game against North Carolina as a 13 seed last year, they advance again coming out of the Sun Belt. Second half from the horizon coming up after this.
This halftime report is brought to you by 7-Up. If you want 100% natural lemon and lime flavors, the only way to go is up. ESPN's exclusive presentation of Championship Week is brought to you by Rock Green Light. 83 calories, 2.4 grams of carbs, 100% rock. And Cialis. Cialis is here. ESPN's exclusive presentation of Championship Week is brought to you by Rock Green Light. 83 calories, 2.4 grams of carbs, 100% rock. And Cialis. Cialis is here. Ask your doctor if a free sample of Cialis is right for you.
Welcome back to the U.S. Cellular Arena. Here are the finals of the Horizon League tournament. Detroit with a 6-point lead. Dave Strader back along with Stephen Bardo. Stephen, before the game, Bruce Pearl said, when you outshoot Detroit, they're 0-14. Plus, we got to get them on the boards. They didn't do either one of those things.
No, Detroit is one nation under a groove right now, doing exactly what they want to do on both ends of the floor, led by their guards in Theus and Brandon Cotton.
Well, we heard what Coach Pearl said before the game. We were also in the locker room a few moments ago as he told his guys he's not too upset about where they are right now.
The way we played, we should be down a boatload. We should be down a boatload, and we're down 6. You know what I'm saying? We're in absolutely great shape because we were disrupted. We turned the ball over like 8 times. We were rushing. We were out of sorts. They didn't put on any kind of great ball, but run our stuff, run our spacing. Okay? Stay within the framework of what you do. Right? Do your stuff. Don't try to do stuff that we're not doing, that we haven't done all year long. Okay? And we can score a little bit more. We can bother in pressure. They got no scores and 4 turnovers. Okay, 2 fouls. They got 2 fouls, but pressure's bothering them. The more we score, the more we press, the more we can get the tempo up exactly the way we want it. Okay? Let's get it done.
And the second half just underway as the Panthers have the basketball to start the second half. And Stephen Bardo and Bruce Pearl, as most coaches would be, staying positive in that locker room.
Oh, that's a veteran coach right there, selling his ball club down, giving them a realistic picture of what they're looking at in the second half. They may have felt they played poorly, but they're only down 6 points, and with their ability to shoot the 3, they can get back in the game very quick.
Here is Tigert rolling to the basket. That's a great look. Could not finish at the front of the rim. And the Titans come back with the basketball. Here is Theus, who was outstanding defensively in that first half.
And Adrian Tigert, who missed that bunny right there. They need to get him the ball. Second on the team in assists. Their leading rebounder. This guy makes other people better on the floor when he has the rock in his hands.
Baker missed, but an alert play at the basket as it was tipped up and in. And that was Abdur Rahim, the 6'4" guard out of Marietta, Georgia. They got to the offensive glass, and again rebounding, an advantage for the Titans. And Kavoris Baker is going to be called for the reach-in foul here. As we take a look at our first half stats, and there's Detroit shooting 50%, bothering Milwaukee's shooting. And the turnovers fairly even, but the points off turnovers certainly favoring the Titans.
Yeah, and you see right there that graphic. They are tremendous in the second half, UW Milwaukee, and so Detroit probably would have liked to have a bigger pad going in, because these guys can hit you with those 12-2 runs with a couple steals and some threes and have you on your heels the rest of the way.
Here is Tucker, hit a 3 in the first half, hits another one here. Noah Tucker did not score a single point in the game that was played here in the regular season that was won by U of D. He was a big factor with 20 points and 11 rebounds when the Panthers went into Callahan Hall and beat the Titans on their home court.
I see what Baker from Detroit is doing defensively against Tucker, but he can't give him that much room to shoot the 3.
Vogel had it knocked out of his hands, but it remains Detroit basketball. And you see Perry Watson saying that had to be a foul.
I like that floor space in Detroit that time. Vogel was wide open underneath until the defensive pressure came and slapped the ball away from his hands, but very good spacing and trying to establish an inside game to take some of the scoring pressure off of Cotton.
Cotton called for the travel, and that time it was Boo Davis, as a variety of defenders have tried to put pressure on Brandon Cotton.
You see Brandon Cotton just getting ahead of himself a little bit.
Yep. Firmly established the left foot as the pivot foot. You saw it come up before the ball left his hands. That's a travel. Open look in the corner is good. And that is Mccann's. Well, I think was wearing a headband in the first half. He's taking it off. Maybe that's taking a little of the pressure off him. Theus, Tigert tried to draw the contact, but no foul was called.
And this place is ready to erupt, Dave. Every time Mccann's has a look, they come to their feet. He's able to drop that one. They're right back in the ball game despite a sluggish first half.
Baker puts it on the floor. A runner off the glass. No basket. Offensive foul against Tavoris Baker, and that is his 3rd personal foul.
You see Baker there starting at the 3-point line. Any good defensive team in college basketball is going to get a body in front of a big man that drives from the three-point line.
Well, Bruce Pearl told us this morning, he said, situations like that, you won't see us being athletic and blocking shots above the rim. He said, we'll slide over and take the charge. That's the way we get it done.
And that's the mark of a team that knows their personnel, stays within what they can do.
Hill drives, kicks it back. Here's Mccann for the three, knocks it down, and that is the lead for Milwaukee. The first time since it was 2-0. And just like that, the Panthers, who were down 6 at the half, now have the lead. And that's something else that Bruce Pearl told us today. You can be behind, but in the blink of an eye, this guy can bring us back. Back here in Milwaukee, UW-Milwaukee with their first lead since it was 2-0. The Horizon League Championship, an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament on the line. They love Bruce Pearl. You see the sign, you can't handle the Bruce. I wish I could do a better Jack Nicholson, because they had a picture of Coach Pearl and Jack Nicholson on there. As you look at a record crowd for a UWM home game, 10,783. There's the student section down to our right. Now, they're not the Cameron Crazies or the Oakland Sioux, but Bruce Pearl is so proud of the environment that they've created here, Stephen. Not just what the team has done. As you take a look at what Milwaukee's done to regain the lead here in the early moments of the second half. And here's another turnover.
Now you see Milwaukee starting to get the pace to their liking a little bit quicker. They're able to get some early opportunities in their offense and get their pressure set up. In the first half, Detroit really controlled tempo and shot well from the field, not allowing Milwaukee to get set up.
Ball goes inside of Tucker. That is knocked away. And Bailey able to save the ball. But again, a double team and a timeout called by Green. Well, we mentioned that an NCAA berth, of course, is on the line into the field of 65. And how often have these two different schools been in there? Well, for the University of Detroit, they've got a little bit more experience in NCAA play. For Bruce Pearl and UW-Milwaukee, he was talking to us this morning about the fact that, you know, really bringing basketball to a high level in Division I is a new experience for this university. They don't have a football team, so he said, we're trying to get the city, the alumni, and everybody excited. But the University of Detroit has been to the NCAA tournament 6 times. They are looking for their 7th trip to the NCAAs. If they make it, it will be their first time there since 1999. And for the UW-Milwaukee team, they went in 2003. That was their first, and to this point, their only appearance in the NCAAs, and they lost in the first round. Detroit actually has 3 NCAA victories on their resume. One under Dick Vitale back in the mid-70s.
And boy, if we could blow up that shot we saw of Dick Vitale.
In the media guide.
Oh, my goodness. He has come a long way, to say the least.
Barry Watson has a couple of NCAA wins. His teams beat St. John's in 98, UCLA in 99. And Bruce Pearl was telling us this morning or this afternoon as well that he said we could be a tough team for somebody in the first round or two of the NCAA because of the way we play. Tigert had it knocked out of his hands, and it will remain UW-Milwaukee basketball. Bruce Pearl gave him the halftime speech, and his team has responded.
Once again, the Detroit.
Keep on rising. I'm gonna keep on rising. I keep on rising.
Now, both of these teams hope to keep on rising as we take a look again at the NCAA history for these two schools. 5 appearances for Detroit last time in 99, a 3-5 record. Their first round wins came in 77, 98, and 99. Dick Vitale, the coach in '77, and there's UW Milwaukee with their banner for getting to the tournament in 2003 after defeating Butler in the finals of that tournament. Tigert inside, and Shaw's going to be called for the foul.
Nice pick and roll. Mccann is going to draw a double team from the defensive pressure. Tigert does a good job of slipping the pick. See here, you see the double team right there. Tigert slips the pick and goes strong to the basket. Good recognition that time off of the pick and roll by Adrian Tigert.
Second foul against Shaw.
We see this loud home crowd here in Milwaukee. They don't want to see a repeat of last year when UIC came in and stole one to get to the tournament. Record crowd tonight.
Tigert knocks them both down, and 3 points is the biggest lead for the Panthers. 11-0 run now for UW Milwaukee. Diaz double team, and it's going to be a foul here against Hill. Well, we showed you the 22 of the 28 games this year. UW Milwaukee has outscored the opposition largely because they can put on runs like this. Look at that. I mean, that's tough. 22-6 against Wright State, 13-0 run against Purdue, and they're on an 11-0 run here.
And when you're a team like that can explode on guys in the second half, you have so much confidence throughout the game. You saw early on they really looked tentative, weren't hitting any of their shots. Mccann was struggling from the field, but it only took one jumper to fall. Now Ed McCann's defensive intensity along with his team has really picked up.
Bailey missed the short baseline shot, chases it down, gets into the paint, hands it off. Green off the glass and in. A good hustle by Bailey. A second effort led to Ben Green able to end the run, and the Titans back to within one.
Chuck Bailey may have made the play of the game thus far for Detroit. You just don't know sometimes what those hustle plays will do for you to keep you in the ball game.
Tiger gets the long rebound off the miss by Hill. Here's Hill. Now Tigert, he'll try the three. That is short. And Green able to pick up the rebound.
See right now, Detroit's going to try to grind it in the half court again. Trying to run Cotton off of a couple screens.
Green comes off a screen and way wide with that one. Just caught the glass. Lead pass here for Tucker ahead of the field.
Wow, you see, we talked about Tucker leaking out from the defensive glass, trying to get the open layup. That time Green swore that was a pass. Ben Green, the junior, hit nothing but the backboard. Tucker gets the leak.
Joe Tucker, just the third player in the game to hit double digits. He has 10. Mccann leads the way with 11. Cotton has 11. Has the ball now, but has been quiet so far here in the second half. Isolated against Hill. Cotton into the lane. Turnaround. Difficult shot. Knocks it down, and he'll go to the line.
Now that's a savvy move by Brandon Cotton to get his left shoulder into the smaller defender Hill to create the space, and then is strong enough, almost a shot put kind of shot from the elbow. You see here, watch the bang with the left shoulder right there to create the space, and then the one-hand shot put through the contact. Tough move by Brandon Cotton.
James Wright, who came over to help out, got called for the foul. And so Cotton now with 13 to lead all scorers. Has hit 1 of 2 from the free throw line so far tonight. Detroit 14-15 on the season. They were 9-7 in the Horizon League. UW Milwaukee 23-5. They were 14-2. Lost only one game on this floor, and that was to this UAD team. And that ball out of bounds, last touch by the Titans. Championship week presented by 7-Up continues tomorrow. 3 games from the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden in New York. Providence, West Virginia at 2. Seton Hall, Georgetown at 7. Rutgers, Notre Dame at 9. The Big East Championship presented by Aeropostal on ESPN tomorrow. 2, 7 to 9 Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Hill, and he's going to be called for the travel. And speaking of that Big East tournament, Take a look at the brackets, and again, the teams that get a bye: Boston College, Villanova, Pittsburgh, Connecticut, Syracuse. And BC will take on the winner of West Virginia, Providence. BC, the #1 seed in the tournament, and Villanova and Pittsburgh have to go head-to-head right out of the gate.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I like Connecticut in the tournament in terms of playing back-to-back games so close. They've got the big bodies up top. They can wear you down. Their guard play has improved in the second half of the season. I like them in the tournament. But I tell you what was already a tough conference, the Big East, one of the better ones in the country. When they get these 5 teams from the Conference USA coming in, it might be the best conference in history of college basketball. Unbelievable.
Corbel is going to go to the free throw line as he muscled his way in, and
Corbel with the elbow right there. Looks like he got away with an offensive foul.
Yeah, correction. It is a jump ball situation. I thought they had called a foul on the Panther player that came over to help out. But the possession arrow favoring Detroit, so they will keep the basketball here. 15 seconds. They're showing on the shot clock. The lob to Corbel, and he was being held there by Pankratz, the smaller 6'3" guard. That is his second personal foul.
Interesting lineup here. You've got Pankratz at 6'3", trying to guard the 6'9" Koval. Obvious mismatch there in the paint for Detroit.
Lazy pass. Baker did a good job, though, to make sure that Tucker couldn't get to it. A lot of stuff going on away from the ball, and these officials are going to keep an eye on it. Joe Tucker is going to pick up the foul. That is his second personal foul. And now 14 fouls.
Tucker didn't like the call, but anytime you put your hands on the defender and almost a swim move trying to get through, officials are going to pick up on that one.
Fresh shot clock for the Titans, so they'll normally take their time to get the good shot. There was Cotton being watched by Hill.
5-second count.
Gets to the baseline. Difficult shot off the back iron. And the Panthers have it. They get it in the hands of Hill. Quickly pushes it ahead to Tucker. In the corner, Boo Davis for the 3. No good. Look at McCoy rides up, but that was blocked. Corbel got a piece of that. And McCoy missed the second putback.
Man, great defense by Koval that time. But McCoy didn't quit. Got rejected on the first one, but stayed with it. And came up and drew the foul. McCoy, Jason McCoy, the junior, started at Rutgers. You see here, let's take a look. Nice playmaking by Tucker for a wide open Davis. He didn't connect. But you see there, Koval basically telling McCoy to step your game up. Don't bring that weak stuff in here.
Abdur Rahim, who helped out there, got the foul. There you see he goes to the bench with 3. Fresh shot clock now for the Panthers. They have the ball, a 1-point lead. UW Milwaukee trying to go to the NCAAs for the second time in school history. For Detroit, it would be their 7th trip. Tucker strong to the basket, around and out. Ethan Shaw's done a great job off the bench, hitting the boards.
Right here, you see Davis trying to pressure the ball on Theus, trying to extend the defense in the half-court set. Oh, Green had an open look, didn't take advantage. Might be a little gunshot from that last brick he put up.
Now Theus. That was tipped as he went up for the shot. Down to 6 on the shot clock. He'll turn and try it again. Off the glass, no good. Great pressure again by the Panthers. In transition, Davis lays it up short. Rebound! There's McCoy. Jason McCoy, who's brought so much energy to this Panther lineup here in the second half. The transfer from Rutgers.
You got 6'9" on the top of the press. Active, jumping around. Putbacks on the offensive glass. Doing a great job. Mccann's here in the second half, Dave, has really done a magnificent job on Cotton.
Cotton has to force that one up. The only shot that Cotton has made here in the second half was that very difficult shot where he was bumped. Just 6 points in the second half for Perry Watson in the first 8.5 minutes. But the Panthers like to score points off of their pressure. And when they run out, good things usually happen. Boo Davis doesn't finish here, but the energy guy, Jason McCoy, makes sure. Championship week presented by 7-Up, the finals of the Horizon League tournament. Some of the Detroit fans making the trip. Their team only has 6 points. They're down by 3 here in the second half. Here's what these teams in the mid-majors are looking at in terms of the numbers in the NCAA. There are 34 at-large bids. Last year, 22 of those 34 bids went to the BCS conferences, the top 6 conferences. This year, Joel Lenardi at ESPN.com, the great job he does with bracketology, he projects somewhere around 26. He said that 22 number, Stephen, last year actually rather low. The last non-BCS school to win the NCAA was UNLV back in 1990. And when you look at teams that have already lost in their tournament, teams like St. Mary's out of the West Coast Conference, team like Southern Illinois and the Missouri Valley, they're probably going to get in. So there's just not a lot of room for some of these teams like a Wisconsin Milwaukee that's got a great looking resume in terms of wins and losses. They've got to win tonight.
That's right. And when you have a team that only has 5 losses on the year, 23-5, from a conference like the Horizon League, you expect them to get in, Dave, but they got to close the deal to get into the dance.
Tiger thinks about the 3, misses. Mccann with the offensive glass, and he was fouled by Cotton. We're here at the U.S. Cellular Arena, downtown Milwaukee, a record crowd to watch the UW Milwaukee Panthers, the #1 seed in the Horizon League Championship, taking on the #3 seed Detroit Titans. Dave Strader, Stephen Bardo, the rest of our crew. UW Milwaukee in the home white, Detroit in the red with the blue and white trim. As Mccann knocks down the free throw. This is the Horizon Player of the Year. Ed McCann's 3rd leading scorer in the league, just over 17 a game. Started his career at Northwestern. Didn't like it there, then went to junior college, Paris Junior College in Texas. And as Bruce Pearl told us, it was a perfect fit. He didn't need to play in an offense where shot selection was at a premium. He knew he was going to have the green light here.
No, he's got to get his cuts because that young man can stroke it from 3 and anywhere else on the floor. And type of player that's got to get his looks early to be effective.
Inside, what a block by Tucker. And then the Titans could not finish at the rim on the offensive rebound opportunity. And Tiger's going to be called for the foul here.
We're seeing some high wire acts right there. Tucker comes from nowhere for the block. And then you see Shaw, we talked about him earlier, the glue man for Detroit. Gets in and makes things happen and doesn't need the ball to do it.
Ethan Shaw with his 5 rebounds is actually tied for the team lead with Abdur Rahim. Ethan Shaw, another JUCO transfer. You've got junior college transfers. You got guys that started in other D1 programs. All kinds of a different mix on both of these rosters, Stephen.
And you made a great point, Dave, that some of these guys, like a Bailey over at Detroit that went to Michigan, or maybe McCoy that started out at Rutgers, maybe that wasn't the level that they could succeed on. And so they come to a Horizon League, a very competitive conference, and have much success on this level. And these two teams have been a haven for players that have come from that level and made the Horizon League what it is.
Now Tiger, difficult bounce pass. He put it right into the hands of Abdur Rahim, and a turnover for the Panthers. And now Good will pull it back out. John Good, the freshman from Flint, Michigan.
See Tiger, the center for UW Milwaukee, second on the team in assists, but he'll also turn the rock over as well.
Boy, Corbel wants that ball against Pankratz, and it's been physical down there, and Pankratz is going to be called for the personal foul. ESPN2's coverage of College Basketball Championship Week presented by 7-Up continues tomorrow. 2 games from the first round of the Kelly Tires Conference USA Tournament. Marquette without Travis Diener because of the injury will take on the TCU Horned Frogs. Then at 3 Eastern, Tulane, the Green Wave, face the DePaul Blue Demons. Championship week presented by 7-Up tomorrow on ESPN2 at 1 and 3 Eastern. Cotton drives off the glass and in.
Boy, Cotton has made some tight wire acts along the baseline this evening. Doesn't look like there's any room along the baseline. Does a magnificent job of creating.
And Jason McCoy is going to be called for an offensive foul away from the ball and right in front of Bruce Pearl as you see his reaction to the call. He was just named the Horizon Coach of the Year for the 3rd time. Pretty good when you've been in the league 4 years, Stephen, and you're Coach of the Year 3 times.
That's exactly right. He's done a really good job. And see, this up-tempo style, Dave, this is attractive to a lot of players. They're going to get up and down. They're going to be able to shoot at their discretion. And they're going to score a lot of points.
Nice decision by Abdur-Rahim inside to Shaw.
And this Detroit team is a tough one when there's plays made by other guys on the floor besides Brandon Cotton.
John Good has called for a foul in the backcourt. That is team foul number 6. So with 8:54 on the clock, Bruce Pearl's club will be shooting free throws with every foul that is committed by Detroit. Likewise, the Titans will be shooting now as the Panthers also with 17 fouls.
See here, Theus needs to get back in the game for Detroit. Can settle things down and get the ball where it needs to be. Brandon Cotton has had a hard time here in the second half when Theus is on the bench.
Now McCoy, the shot clock down to 15.
Look for Mccann coming off of a screen.
McCann's faked one way, went the other, and Cotton gave him a bit of a shove along the baseline.
Watch here, the swing through. Very strong move by Ed Mccann. That's what creates the space. If there are young players watching, they need to watch how he swung the ball through the defense, gave himself momentum. That allows your first step to get past the defender. Good job by Ed Mccann against the pressure defense.
Joe McCann, himself the newcomer of the year last year, and the player of the year this year, misses the free throw as, again, UW-Milwaukee continues to struggle from the free throw line as they've hit just 6 of 11.
See right now the Detroit fans trying to back their club and give them some inspiration here.
Abdur-Rahim has it on the wing. Looks inside Shaw, with batted away and out of bounds. It'll still be Detroit ball, but just 10 seconds on the shot clock when we come back. We expected a tight, low-scoring game. That's what we've got.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of Championship Week is presented by 7-Up. If you want 100% natural lemon and lime flavors. ESPN's exclusive presentation of Championship Week is presented by 7-Up. If you want 100% natural lemon and lime flavors, the only way to go is up. And in part by Nike Pro Apparel. And Saab, distinctively designed and independently inspired. Saab, the state of independence.
Championship Week presented by 7-Up rolls along. The Horizon League Championship game, we are tied at 41 as we take a look at our Nike game track so far here tonight. Stephen Bardo, Brandon Cotton, Ed Mccann, our two Star Watch players, and little different stories in the first and second halves.
Kind of flip-flopped a little bit. Cotton with 11 points in the first half has really been slowed by the defensive pressure of Milwaukee, and Mccann seemed to have hit his stride here, got a couple threes down, got 8 points in the second half. He's coming in live.
Just as we talk about our two star players, they're both on the bench. Well, they need a breather. You talked about what it's like. You had the experience in Illinois playing against Tom Davis and that Iowa pressure. And it can feel okay for 20, 30 minutes, but it eventually wears on you. So there was a long shot there late in the shot clock by Abdur Rahim. There was only 10 on the shot clock when Detroit had that ball inbounds, and a foul here against the Titans. And again, we're going to the free throw line. Every foul from here on in, both ways.
Dave, we saw that graphic about the runs that UW-Milwaukee hits teams with in the second half. When Bruce Pearl was an assistant at Iowa, they played us my freshman year. We were up 61-39 in the second half. Supposed to close that game out. That pressure defense, similar to what we see from Milwaukee, closed the deal, forces overtime, and they beat us at home.
And a missed free throw. And it's going to lead to a UW-Milwaukee foul. Now let's take a look at the assistant coach, one of the assistant coaches for UW-Milwaukee. That is Tony Jones. He was an assistant coach with Perry Watson at Southwestern High School for 6 of the 13 years that Perry was there. So he's very familiar with the Detroit connection. In fact, he came up to me and said, I remember you when you were the voice of the Red Wings, and he was asking me about the NHL lockout, was showing a lot of empathy for the guys that are being impacted by no NHL hockey. But Tony Jones says they're not going to run anything that we don't know. It's just a question of who can still do their stuff, even though both sides know what the other's going to do.
That's exactly right. And he knows Perry and his recruiting ties. I'm sure they bump heads often.
Yep.
Going to watch some games in Detroit. And you see Coach Jones is maybe a candidate for that Eastern Michigan job that was vacated earlier this afternoon. Coach Jones, also the brother of Bill Jones, who played for Bruce Pearl back in Iowa in the 80s. So a lot of connections here with Detroit and the Big Ten between these two schools.
Goebel hit both of the free throws, and this ball out of bounds. It is going to belong to the Titans, who have the 2-point lead thanks to those free throws a moment ago.
Now, I'm really surprised here to see Mccann still on the bench for Milwaukee. You see Brandon Cotton's back in the ballgame. They want to give him a quick blow. Milwaukee, unless Tucker can really get going, they're going to struggle offensively.
We're here at the U.S. Cellular Arena in downtown Milwaukee. Finals of the Horizon League. The number 1 seed, UW-Milwaukee. The number 3 seed, Detroit Titans. Detroit in the red, UW-Milwaukee in the white home jerseys. And it has been a very tough, grinded-out kind of game, which we thought it would be. It was a 6-point lead for Detroit at the half. UW-Milwaukee came back and took the lead largely because Ed Mccann, who's coming back into the ballgame, the Horizon League Player of the Year, was finally starting to get off a little bit offensively.
Yeah, they desperately need him in the game to stretch out the defense of Detroit. When McCants is on the bench, Detroit can suck in the paint a little bit, cut off the passing and driving lanes, but McCants opens that floor up with his three-point shooting ability. And you saw here, Hill did a good job of trying to deny Brandon Cotton the ball, but once Cotton gets it, Dave, you got to get back. If you're going to give him anything, you got to give him the jumper.
Well, you look at the overall league stats, and UAD is dead last, but in the last 7 games, they are shooting almost 75%, and in this game, they are 8 of 11 from the free throw line, so they have really come on at the free throw line at the right time, and there is a collision. As you see the 2 players down, and it's going to be a pushing foul against Detroit.
Oh, man. I tell you, Ben Green came through there like a linebacker. Boy, he just crushed right on the baseline. Maybe sending a signal here for the last 7 minutes of the game. See if Wright can make him pay from the line, but boy, Green blasted him along the baseline.
Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Goebel protecting that basketball.
Goebel did a good job of getting his elbows up, not swinging them, but get your elbows up, create the space so you can protect the basketball. Good job by Hill denying Cotton the rock.
Now Green Working against Tucker. Lost the ball. 5 on the shot clock. Long 3. Just off the front iron. Ortiz thought he had that. You can tell from his reaction when he let it go. Mccann's leading the way with his 13 points. Trying to add to it. Make it 15.
That's such a tough move. Going left. Fighting his body. Coming back right with the floater off glass. That's why he's player of the year.
And a foul in the backcourt. Here's Pearl trying to say that's a terrible call, and Mike Sanzier just shaking his head, nope, walking away. He's not going to listen to any more. This is one of the things that, again, with pressure, Stephen, you put yourself in a position to foul, and now Detroit, that so far has been doing the job at the free throw line, is going to be able to keep going.
Yeah, and Theus and Cotton have been golden from the line here. You see James right on that last foul. I think Pearl was more upset with the fact he bailed him out. They had him in a trap situation.
Cotton leading the way with his 17 points. Abdur Rahim, a guard, with 6 rebounds, leading him in that department. Cotton with the 2 assists. This is not a team that's going to light you up with great individual numbers, except for Cotton, who's able to go off for 20, 25, 30 points. This team, Detroit, in each of their tournament wins, scored 61 points, and that was plenty enough to win.
Well, they've got that sheriff lockdown type defense in the half-court setting.
There's that double team in the post, and Abdur Rahim able to knock it away. He is the younger brother of Sharif Abdur Rahim, both of them winning state championships at Wheeler High School, Marietta, Georgia. Now Tucker rises up. That's off the front iron. And Cotton has it on a collision between a couple of players. And the UW-Milwaukee player holding his head. And the play is going to continue even though he is on the court. It's Joe and Tucker. And now the officials are going to blow it down. And Perry Watson reacting.
I wonder why Mike Sanzier, the lead official right here that was next to the play, doesn't call for an official's timeout. Yet Tom Clark, once the ball went across half court, stop the play. Looked like Tucker and Baker, I think, got mixed up a little bit underneath the basket. No dirty play at all. Just going after the basketball. Take a look here. That's excellent defense right there by Abdur Rahim.
Oh, elbowed by his own teammate. Wow. He took an elbow right in the mouth.
Oh, you see the blood on the left side of his jersey. On the right side of his jersey, left side for us. He's going to be out for a while until they can take care of that. Until they can fix that situation. It's like he's going back to the locker room right now.
Now, Tucker did not score a single point in the loss here, and he was a big factor in the win at Callahan Hall. He goes to the locker room. Cotton able to get inside. And one of the things with Tucker out of the lineup, it'll be a little easier for Detroit to get close to the rim. And Detroit back with the 6-point lead they had at the half. But that is quickly cut in half on the 3-pointer from the outside by Boo Davis, who now has 5 points.
30-second timeout, Panthers.
This is the 3rd straight trip to the Horizon Championship game for UW-Milwaukee. Let's take you back and take a look at their previous 2 trips. It started in 2003. They were facing Butler, led by Clay Tucker, who had 23 points. UWM's first of what would be 3 consecutive trips. They went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history. Then last year, they faced their rivals from UIC. They had a chance to tie it at the buzzer. But Jimmy Collins and company victorious, and they went to the dance. As you look at UW-Milwaukee, their record 23-5, impressive. 14-2, impressive. RPI not bad at 54. They've won 8 straight, 16-17. Strength of schedule though, 260. No key wins. Losses against Valpo and Detroit, who had a 190 RPI at the time of that game. So, as you pointed out earlier, Stephen, they've got to win this to get in.
They got to win, and they've been dominant in their conference. And the dilemma for teams like Detroit and UW-Milwaukee, you want to get those big-time teams on your schedule, but they're reluctant to play these teams because, as you said, they have nothing to win, nothing to lose in terms of Milwaukee and Detroit, but nothing to win for the big boys.
Great job breaking the pressure just like they did in practice today as Abdur-Rahim ran out. But another three as Davis has taken off his headband. So the guys, Mccann and Davis, that started with the headbands on and struggled, have taken the headgear off, and they seem to have found the stroke here in the second half. And we've got a 2-point ball game. The Titans have the lead and the basketball.
Davis is a capable scorer at 10 points a game. So Tucker out of the lineup, he knows he's got to step his game up and bring it here if they want to get to the dance.
Here's Baker, good ball fake, off the glass and in. Great body control by Tavoris Baker, the 6'7" junior out of Detroit. Another product of Cooley High School. Mccann's long three is good with Brandon Cotton right in his face.
That's good defense, but that's better offense.
Nice look for Rahim, puts it off the glass and in. Yes, count the basket. A great outlet pass led to this opportunity. Bruce Pearl is saying that was a traveling violation.
Let's take a look at this play, Dave. Tremendous concentration on the backboard.
Oh, that was fine. I think he let it go before that other foot came down, and probably that's what Bruce Pearl was looking at from his vantage point. That other foot came down before he released the ball, but that looked pretty good. Good body control by Abdur-Rahim.
Things are starting to fall into place for Detroit. Tucker's out of the ball game. Looks like he's getting ready to check back in. Detroit has won here before, so they have the confidence to win in this building. They've got the tempo to their liking. And now Tucker back in the game, who has really struggled here in the second half.
Here you see the quick bandage job they've done on Joe Tucker. So he comes back in the ball game with his team down by 4 in possession of the basketball.
See Tucker coming in with a fresh jersey, that other blood-filled jersey of his.
And right away they try to go inside to Tucker. 2 Detroit players end up colliding. Well, this is like an arena football game, I'll tell you what.
See, the rest of the country doesn't understand that these conferences, they play hard. They are physical. They may be undersized in some of the traditional positions like the power forward and center position, but they don't lack for any effort or any desire at this level. See these guys in the paint.
You talk about sacrificing your body to get it done.
And with UW-Milwaukee struggling from the line, percentage-wise, that wasn't a bad foul.
Tucker hits 1 of 2. 7 of 16, 9 missed free throws for the Panthers in a game on their home court that they trail by 3. Here was Cotton. Pankratz watching him. Cotton the fadeaway. May have gotten hit on the arm. And Corbell could not save the ball. I thought he may have tried to call a timeout. The emotion of trying to get into the NCAA tournament.
I keep on rising.
Reese Davis with you in the studio. Another 1 seed is going to bite the dust in the Sun Belt. Denver, the 1 seed out of the Western Division of the Sun Belt, taking on Louisiana Lafayette. Chris Cameron drains the 3, and the Raging Cajuns are starting to pull away down the stretch. They're up 84-67, just over a minute to go. And the 1 seed out of the Mid-Con, Oral Roberts, went down to Oakland 61-60.
All right, Reese, thanks very much. And the number 1 seed here in their home arena, down by 3. UW-Milwaukee trailing the Detroit Titans. The student section here down to our right, they have to stand the entire game. They are on risers. There's no seats or benches running to sit on down at that end. And they are trying to spur this Panther team on to victory. Just 1 loss in this building so far this season, and it came at the hands of the Detroit Titans. Free throws have been a factor. The Panthers have struggled. They're just 7 of 16. Detroit, on the other hand, has hit 11 of 14. And there's going to be a lot of trips to the free throw line in the last 3.5 minutes of this one. Don't forget to stay with us here on ESPN. SportsCenter will follow us immediately here with Stuart Scott and Steve Levy, as they'll take a look at all of the action around the country in college basketball, the other top sports stories of the day.
I think Tucker is doing a good job of forcing the action. Hasn't shot the ball well tonight. Only 4 of 10 from the field, but he's gotten a lot of opportunities at the free throw line, and he's starting to take advantage.
Cotton was called for the foul, his third. Abdur-Rahim has 4. DeVoris Baker also has 3. Those are the individuals in some trouble. 1 point Detroit lead against this full court pressure. He's asking the official, can he run? He was told yes, but it still leads to a bad pass. Davis thought about the 3. He finds Mccann.
Well, you know Mccann wanted to shoot that one badly. Tell you, Boo Davis has been solid here, especially in the second half for Milwaukee.
Davis trying to look inside. And a timeout called by the UW-Milwaukee bench as we take a look at Brandon Cotton, the newcomer of the year in the Horizon League, and he hasn't disappointed on this stage.
No, he really hasn't. He's created the majority of his shots on moves like that. And just shows how strong he is, Dave, in terms of getting into the paint and having the strength to finish. He's a lot of contact on those moves, but very good at finishing.
19 points for Cotton to lead all scorers in the ball game. The only Detroit scorer in double figures, and Mccann with his 18 leading the way. 3 players in double digits for UW-Milwaukee. The winner of this game will join a growing list of teams that already have qualified for the NCAA tournament. Here are the 10 teams that are already in: Penn, Winthrop, Central Florida, Eastern Kentucky, Chattanooga, Old Dominion, Niagara, Creighton, Gonzaga, and Oakland earlier today. An upset of Oral Roberts in the Mid-Continent. This will be considered an upset looking at the records, but Bruce Pearl and UW-Milwaukee knew this was going to be a street fight against this Detroit team. Mccann all the way to the rim, had it knocked away, and it stayed in play. Here's Theus, and wisely pulls it back out.
Boy, great defensive rotation by the Titans that time. Baker switched on Mccann, forcing him to drive into the paint, and they come up with a serious block.
Oh, there is Cotton doing what he does best, getting into the lane, feeling the contact, spinning the other way, and softly putting it in. He has 21. No, Brandon Cotton for the 10th time, and a miss here by the Panthers. Cotton for the 10th time going over the 20-point plateau. And now Detroit with a 3-point lead. The ball just over 2 minutes remaining on the road. A win by the Titans puts them at 15 and 15 and into the NCAA tournament. Cotton missed that one, but it's an offensive rebound for Detroit.
This is just what Perry Watson wants right now. Slow down tempo in the 50s with the opportunity to take a 5-point lead.
A reminder coming up on SportsCenter with Stuart Scott and Steve Levy. Big East tournament. Digger will have his brackets, collapsing Cavs and Shaq Fatty. That's all about. Shaq is back and dominating for the Miami Heat as we heat up the playoff races in the NBA. Well, getting back to what Bruce Pearl, the head coach of UW-Milwaukee, told his team before the game. When Detroit is outshot, they're 0-14. When you beat them on the boards, they don't have a very good chance of winning. Now, UW-Milwaukee's done a better job of hindering Detroit for most of the second half in terms of shooting. But now, as we get down the stretch, Stephen, it's Detroit that's getting the key rebounds.
They're coming up with all the loose balls and offensive rebounds. And what's happened, the game has gotten to their pace. Detroit is used to running down the shot clock, getting the ball to Brandon Cotton, and he can create something towards the end of the shot clock, which keeps the score and the tempo at the pace that they love.
5 times Detroit has been to the NCAA tournament: 1962, 77, 79, and then in 98 and 99. Off the screen, that was well set up out of the timeout. Theus had a good look, just couldn't knock it down. Here come the Panthers now, down by 3. Drive on the baseline, a lot of contact there, and it's going to go against Detroit.
Great call by Lamar Simpson, the referee on the baseline. See, Baker had the right idea, but still moving right there.
Yep.
Davis does a good job to jump away from the defender.
And again, the Panthers continue to struggle at the line.
Boy, the iron has been unkind from Milwaukee.
Look at Detroit, allowed 70 points only twice this year, and 10 of the last 16 have been held under 60. It is 58-55 right now. Davis, the second free throw, able to knock it down. Well, if you're only going to make 1 or 2, it's better for the Panthers if they make the second one, because at least they can set up their press.
And it's hard to press this young man right here. See, the Titans are right where they want to be, Dave. They have not won a game this year when they haven't reached the 60-point mark.
Here is Cott trying to draw the contact, and it went off of Abdur-Rahim and picked up by the Panthers. They have it down by 2. NCAA tournament on the line for one of these two teams, and we're down to a minute 10 and a 2-point deficit. The number 1 seed, the Panthers, with the ball. Bruce Pearl, the coach, shouting instructions on the sideline what he wants from his offense. Here is Tucker. Tucker drives the lane against Baker. A lot of contact off the glass, and he's going to go to the free throw line. And if it's against Baker, that is 5 on Travorus Baker. So the 6'7" junior for the Detroit Titans is going to the bench.
Look at all the floor spacing right there for Tucker to operate. Set play by UW-Milwaukee. A lot of movement along the baseline. Tucker gets the ball at the top of the key, gives himself an opportunity to work in the paint.
The numbers for Travorus Baker: 4 points on the night. They go along with 5 rebounds.
Substitution for Baker, number 20, Shaw.
And Baker's numbers are not great, but he did a terrific job defensively. He was help side, came to the strong side, did a good job, had a couple blocks, and he's one of those glue players for Perry Watson that are so important for the Titan attack.
Tucker, who has hit 3 out of 4 from the free throw line. He's about the only one that's had success there for the UW-Milwaukee team that has hit just 10 out of 20. Again, they have absolutely loved playing here in this building. 26-1 in their last 27. The only loss came against Detroit. And you see Detroit uncharacteristically put 76 on them that night to win it.
Detroit doing it differently today. January 5th, they killed Milwaukee via the 3 with 10 threes. But tonight, they have it right where they want it. Low-scoring ball game. Now the crowd gets into it. Along with the pressure defense, usually creates havoc for the opposing team.
Tucker hit both of the free throws. He's got 15. About a 20-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock as we wind it down in this final minute of the Horizon League Championship. The winner goes to the NCAA. The loser, if it's Detroit, their season is done. If the loser's UW-Milwaukee, they might get an NIT bid, as we got a foul going against UW-Milwaukee.
Well, I tell you what, Cotton gets in the paint. There's nowhere to go. But yet he squeezes through right there. And a mad scramble for the ball. Tough break for Hill.
Perry Watson wants to talk to his team. And here is our Reebok player of the game, and it is Brendan Cotton. of the University of Detroit Titans, 21 points, 4 rebounds. And his night is not finished by any stretch of the imagination. Game tied at 58.
Chris Hill looks like he fouled out on that last.
Yes, he did.
That last play.
Hill was called for the foul, so he is gone. So perhaps the best ball handler for UW Milwaukee is out of the ball game.
A little upset over there. Recognizes an opportunity here. He did a great job on Brandon Cotton, making him work for everything that he got, especially here in the second half. Important free throws for Detroit.
He is shooting 2. He has hit both of his free throws so far tonight. That one is no good.
Woo. As my teammates used to say, Dave, pressure busts the pipe. That pressure is something else.
All important to block out, although Detroit only has one player, and that is Ethan Shaw, that is lined up along the lane. And that one comes off. And the Panthers have it. The shot clock is off, and a chance to win it in the final possession.
Watch Tucker again with a spread floor, able to go one-on-one from the top of the key.
Boo Davis with it now. 12 seconds left in the game. Will it be Davis? Will it be Tucker? Will it be Mccann? Tigert spins off the glass, around and out, but he's fouled with 4.2 on the clock.
Oh, I tell you what, Koval on the defensive end from Detroit did about everything that he could do, Dave. Watch Tigert gets the ball on the baseline. Now watch his hands go straight up. I don't see the contact on that, especially with 4 seconds left. That's a tough break for the Titans.
Tigert misses the first. He had made his first 2. 12 for 23 now, Bruce Pearl's club. They came in 3rd ranked in the Horizon Conference as a 71% free throw shooting team, and a timeout with 4.2 seconds.
Wow.
Well, Stephen, let me ask you this now. Obviously, they're going to talk about both scenarios, make, miss. On a miss, if you're Detroit, you got to get the rebound. We'll get to the strategy in a moment as we remind you that tomorrow the Kelly Tires Conference USA Tournament, first round action on ESPN2. Marquette taking on TCU at 1 Eastern, followed by Tulane and DePaul at 3 Eastern. Championship week presented by 7-Up. So again, on a miss, Detroit gets the ball.
Right.
What are they looking to do? Obviously, it's got to be in a hurry.
Yeah, it's got to be in a hurry, but what Perry Watson may elect to do is get it across half court and call another timeout to give themselves an opportunity at a shot with possibly 2 seconds left. Or you get Theus or Cotton the ball and let them try to break down the defense in the last 4 seconds going full court.
Perry Watson still does have a timeout, which he could use even on a make if they don't get the ball in right away because of the pressure.
Once again, a reminder, ladies and gentlemen.
And very surprising. Great game, despite being held under their season average severely, but Milwaukee finds a way to get it done. See, Cotton has an opportunity, has Theus on the right side.
They had an opportunity, could have called a timeout, but they figured once they got the ball in that cleanly in the hands of Cotton, why not let him try to finish it out? So Detroit 0-13 this year when they failed to score 60 points. 59-58 the final. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.